Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. So I'm guessing you can already tell by the fact that this is a Chantal video, and I didn't do all the hoo-hoo ha-ha at the beginning, that this is going to be a more serious type of video. Also, my voice is a little hoarse, not sure what that's about, but this is the first that I'm speaking today. I did have some issues with allergies and stuff yesterday, which is partly why I haven't made this video sooner. I'm just gonna get into it because it's a serious subject, and if you didn't know, recently Chantal was diagnosed with gonorrhea and got it from her partner. And while trying to decide if it's possible in the realm of all that happens in her life, if it's possible that she potentially didn't get it because Nader cheated on her, she had a lot of homophobic shit to say.
Must have been with someone fucking nasty. Maybe a guy. I'm only kidding, but I heard that it's transmitted a lot easier between males. Which case I don't care. No, I heard that. I read that today actually. That's what the article said, Phoebe Lee. That it's not homophobic.
So, make of that clip what you will. I originally saw that clip from Charlie Gold on Twitter, but I've seen it again because there was an account that tweeted a clip from Pulpy Syntax. If you don't follow him, he's another queer person who reacts to Chantal, covers Chantal. And I also saw it from Just Sayin', who is a channel that puts together a bunch of clips and streams and stuff from Chantal, especially when she dirty deletes them. Now, I didn't initially see this when she actually streamed because I don't keep up with Chantal like that anymore. I literally only keep up through the things I see on Twitter and occasionally stopping into reaction channels who are reacting. I occasionally stop into their streams if there's something I saw on Twitter that I want to know more information about. But otherwise, I'm not watching her live streams. I haven't been keeping up with her. And quite honestly, she's done a number of things that probably deserve my time and energy to discuss, but that I don't feel eloquent or articulate enough to discuss those things, or knowledgeable enough about those things. And at this point, there are plenty of channels out there that are covering the many things, many things that Chantal is doing that are problematic. But I want to talk about this particular clip that I just showed you because it's homophobia. It's homophobic. It's disgusting. And I feel well, one, many people ask me to give my thoughts about it, but two, I've always been very vocal about things related to the LGBTQIA community. I'm a part of that community. I care a lot about that community, and I feel like I just have to say some things about it. So if you're unsure why that clip's problematic, if you don't know, in the 80s and 90s, the queer community was majorly impacted by the HIV and AIDS pandemic, okay? We were largely looked at, I'm saying I was but a baby at the time, okay? I was a kid at the time. But our community was torn apart by this disease because we were turned away when we went to get help. The government didn't give a shit about us, okay? Ever since then, we have continued to be stigmatized as dirty, as unclean, as sexual deviants, as people not deserving of love, even if we have life-threatening diseases, okay? This is not a stereotype. Certainly it's changed, right? If you don't know, things like HIV, you can be HIV positive and live a fruitful, successful life. We have thankfully come so far with medicine, okay, that we are able to live with that, or many people who have HIV, who are HIV positive, can live if they are able to access medical treatment, okay? I know that not everybody's able to access that in the way that we would love and hope for them to be, but there have been so many improvements, okay? I feel like I've said okay like 1,200 times. Please just stick with me, as some of this is like written down in front of me, and some of it's just like me talking, and processing kind of like my feelings about this with you all. So a lot has happened for the LGBT community, for people with HIV, that there are so many changes, and we have come so far, but yet we still actively face these kinds of stereotypes, and these are the kinds of things that keep people from being open and honest about their status, that keeps them from coming out of the closet. I mean, we literally just had National Coming Out Day 2 days ago. It was on the 11th. It's on the 11th of October every year, if you didn't know. We literally just had that day. And one of the reasons why so many LGBTQIA people don't come out of the closet is because of stigma like this attached to your sexual health. So yes, this is homophobic. It's homophobic to suggest that because Nader cheated on her, that it had to have been with a man, because that's just gross, and the only way for something gross to happen is for it to come from a man. And if you don't think that these stereotypes still exist, or that they're not still impacting queer people, then I'm just going to give you myself as an example. And that's not to say that any of this is specifically about me, because it's not. It's about the larger queer community. But the example I can present to you right now is me, right? I can present to you what I have faced and what I have experienced, and I have receipts, okay? So even just a couple weeks ago, if you didn't know, I wasn't feeling well, and I took like a week, 2 weeks off from YouTube, from posting on YouTube, because like I just didn't have the energy. I'm still not exactly sure what was wrong with me. It was for sure not COVID, because I got tested for that, but I just was really, really not feeling well. So tell me why this person asked HIV maybe? And then on a whole different video a week ago, Jennifer had this to say: "You've been sick many times. Have you been tested for the big A? Cancer? It can't be COVID, you got vaxxed." So these are things that I experience still today in my comment section. I don't actively seek these things out. I don't see every single comment. In fact, I'm going to show you some more comments from like just like a history of my channel. Okay, you're gonna see on the screenshots, some of them say a year ago, some of them say 2 years ago. I gotta be honest with you, I mostly didn't even know like these comments existed. Okay, I haven't seen a lot of these comments, but it's just like, these are things that I have dealt with from the beginning of time on my channel. And these are things that like when I was coming out of the closet, that people were worried about for me. They were worried that I could get HIV, which to some extent is a fair concern. Like, everybody should be worried about their sexual health. Everybody should be using protection. Everybody should be taking measures to make sure that they're safe. But these are things that I have dealt with. But apparently queer people are not allowed to just, you know, get sick, to have like the common cold or the flu or things like that. It has to automatically go to, oh, Zach's not feeling well, it must be AIDS. It must be that he's HIV positive. So here are some of the comments that I've been dealing with from the start of time on my channel. "What is the deal for you and Amber Lynn? Dying as a gay in a small apartment on HIV? Wouldn't it be better to just stop talking about her? Zachary Michael has AIDS. Pass it on." So this AIDS patient is calling out a 600-pound female. At least she knows what she is. So again, this is not about me specifically. These are just the examples that I can give you from my experience. But I'm sure there are many other queer people, gay men, who can speak to the fact that lots of people have held these stereotypes and used them to judge us, to try to belittle us, to try to make us feel bad about ourselves. And I'm sharing my experience because this is what people are willing to say. They have the audacity to say this on a public platform about a public figure. Imagine, one, what these people who say this publicly are saying behind closed doors, okay? And then two, imagine the people that don't have that level of audacity but still hold these views, okay? So again, an example of what those of us in the community face, experience, etc. And probably honestly, I probably don't even have it as bad as some people in the community. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised that this is something that has come out of Chantal's mouth. This isn't the first time that something Chantal has said or done has alarmed me in terms of homophobia. I think most people in the community probably are well aware of Chantal's documented history of saying and doing racist things. I mean, at this point, I don't think that's a surprise to many people, but you might not remember an incident in February of 2020, which honestly doesn't feel like that long ago, but it's like a year and a half ago at this point. But in February of 2020, Chantal decided to share a channel and a video on her community tab. And the video, if I remember correctly, was something about how, like, all of us that reacted to Chantal and Amberlynn were hypocrites because we were food addicts or whoever, whatever. I don't know. It was really stupid. That video itself was, like, I guess harmless, but the person who created it was a channel called Fatty Gold, which they have since been terminated because they were a channel that was dedicated to making very disparaging videos, particularly about Charlie Gold, that were also racist. Their name was Fatty Gold, and their avatar picture was a picture of a monkey. Okay, so you can connect the dots on why this person was racist. Chantal shared their channel, and I don't know, I mean, her ignorance, it doesn't surprise me that she shared this channel without realizing, or maybe she did realize, that this channel had a number of racist videos about Charlie Gold. But what you might not remember, because it did happen, okay? What you might not remember is that at the same time that she shared that, there was also a video on this person's channel called Zachary Michael Might Be HIV Positive. And it was a whole video dedicated to analyzing and critiquing whether or not I was HIV positive, because at the time I had a scrape on my forehead right here because I was fucking clumsy. When I tell you that Chantal, I'm not surprised that she is out here saying this, is because at the time she willingly shared a video, a channel that had a video like that in addition to like all of the racist stuff. And that account was terminated for obvious reasons. I hope you can see why that account got terminated from YouTube. But I will share a live stream and a pinned comment down below of where I discussed all of that and reacted to Chantal. It's like a 2-hour something long live stream. So I think it starts around the 30-minute mark is where I discuss the piece about this particular video and this channel talking about me potentially having HIV, all speculated around a scrape on my forehead. I also have this screenshot where I discussed it. I was quote tweeting Alex's Shook, who is another person who reacts to Chantal and Amberlynn. If you're not familiar with him, he's also part of the queer community. So this is also a screenshot of me discussing that at the time. So no, this isn't new for Chantal. I'm not surprised. I honestly, after all of the things she said and done, I wish I could say I was surprised. But I mean, we're dealing with Chantal here. What saddens me is that the LGBTQ community has to keep having these conversations. We have to keep having these conversations about people saying we're dirty, saying that we're sexual deviants, blaming us for when their partner cheats on them, blaming us for them contracting an STI, passing their shame onto us, their shame for the situation that they got in. And there's nothing to be ashamed of for gonorrhea, first of all, okay? Like, you probably have met and known people in your life who've had gonorrhea. It's treatable, it's curable, like, there's no shame. But the shame that Chantal's experiencing is about her and her insecurities and her relationship with her man who clearly did cheat on her, okay? Like, and she's passing those insecurities and that shame onto the LGBTQ community, which is disgusting and embarrassing. So that's kind of all I have to say specifically about Chantal and this comment, okay? It's like all I really have to say about it. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there's a ton of things, obviously, that she has done or said that have been disgusting, problematic. It's largely why I just like have stopped being like too involved in what she's doing on her channel, because I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I don't like who she is as a person. You know, say what you want about other people I cover, but like I try to find redeeming qualities in everybody, and right now it's very difficult to find any redeeming quality about Chantal. That's what it is. Now, because this video is monetized, I am making a donation to 2 local organizations that I care about. One is the Brave Space Alliance, which is a organization that is here in Chicago, specifically catered to helping Black and brown, queer and trans people in the west and south sides of Chicago. And also for Howard Brown Health, which is a health organization here in Chicago that is specifically geared towards helping and assisting the queer community get access to healthcare that they might not be able to get otherwise. I encourage you, if you feel up to it, to find local organizations in your own communities that specifically work with LGBTQ organizations. I love these 2 organizations. I appreciate these 2 organizations. I donate regularly outside of making videos, but because this is a monetized video and I'm talking about something so serious and also something so important to me, I'm donating to these organizations right here. And this is the receipts for transparency, not to virtue signal or whoever, whatever. It's just, you know, these things. If I didn't show them, people would be asking for them. All of that being said, I hope to not have to make serious videos like this too often. I actually am planning on doing a fun, silly, goofy little video, so be on the lookout for that. If nothing else, take care of yourselves. I love you all so much. Thank you for all of your support for me, and thank you to the many of you, whether you're a part of the community or not, who spoke out and said something about Chantal and this like abhorrent behavior, comment, etc. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time. Bye.